Whenever I hear people say the words, I just want to build a bit of muscle, I just want to lose a bit of fat, I can instantly tell that they are not ready mentally to actually make a significant transformation. Because let me tell you right now, anyone who went into their fitness, right, to actually make a physical change or improvement, if they made something even minuscule, like losing 5-10 pounds of fat, like the start of a journey, they went into that with the bigger picture and goal in mind of losing a whole lot more, right? Something you have to understand is those small wins are normally intentional and a byproduct of going after something much greater. The identity shift that you have to make between, 20% to 15% body fat to then 10 to 12 is drastically different. So you can't simply have the same mindset of, oh, I'm going to just build a bit of muscle. Once I have 10 pounds of muscle, I'll be satisfied. Once I lose 10 more pounds of fat, I'll have my dream physique. The truth is, it doesn't work like that because you're always going to continue raising the bar. The standards you have for yourself are always going to increase. And the only way you can ever achieve something like that is if you have a bigger goal in mind and you're breaking it down into smaller steps and goals. Okay, I just had to change my position because my knees were getting busted. But essentially, there was a time where I was 15% body fat, right? I was a little fluffy. I was just not happy with the way I looked. The standards I had for myself at the time. I'd already been training for a year and a bit. And I grew up, being the skinny, insecure, quiet kid my entire life. So I put on a bit of fat for the first time and I just didn't like what I saw. I was, once again, not satisfied with how I looked. And for, maybe the next 8 months, I was super clear and sure of the things I needed to do, who I needed to show up as, what I needed to, the actions I needed to take every single day to actually get leaner to the 10 to 12% body fat range while still building muscle. But why did it take me so long, even though I knew all of those things? It's because I was still playing with the other version of me, with my other identity, right? My comfort zone and that version of me who was still doom scrolling, falling into lust, wasting time, procrastinating, falling into all these bad habits. I was letting that guy drag me down as well. So I was playing with two versions of me, toying with two sides, and ultimately only until I committed to making the change and I fully stepped into that identity did I actually then get lean. And it wasn't something small, right? It wasn't just, I wanted to get a bit leaner, right? Because if you have that mindset at, 14, even 13%, right? 15, 16% body fat, you might get a tiny bit leaner, but you're not going to have the right approach or mindset to actually get significantly leaner and stay there, right? So you need to actually be in a position where change and getting out of that situation is less uncomfortable, than you staying in the same position. You have to be in so much pain in your current situation and genuinely hate it so much that you're willing to do everything it takes to get out of it, right? And get into that situation. That can't just be like a little bit of desire. You can't just say, I want to lose a little bit of fat, build a little bit of muscle, right? That's genuinely just not how it works. And the biggest thing that held me back, that I guarantee is holding you guys back as well, is firstly your environment, right? You're probably in an environment where you've been told to, you're allowed to have that one drink. You're allowed to have that one biscuit. You're allowed to, not stay in that deficit on one day, right? And ultimately, when you do those things and you're not in an environment where everyone is trying to level up and holding you accountable, it becomes very difficult to be the odd one out, right? Because we know the 5 people you hang around, you're going to be the 6th, right? If you hang around 5 people who are in great shape, you're going to become the 6th, right? It's just the standards that you have and everyone else around you has bleeds onto those who are around you, right? So you're probably in a situation where you've been convinced that these things are okay, and people are just not going to understand the way you feel, right? what your goals are, the change that you're trying to make. So it all just comes down to, and I know I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because it is genuinely so simple, but it makes all the difference in the world. You have to just be in a situation where making the change is less painful than staying the same. That's genuinely it. If you take one thing away from this video, it's that, right? You're not going to just lose a few pounds, right? Or build some muscle unless you have a actual plan and a bigger goal in mind than just losing a few pounds. Because subconsciously you're going to tell yourself, oh, there's not much work I need to do. Once I get here, I'm going to be satisfied. And therefore you're going to feel less, urgency and less pressured to actually take the necessary steps to get there, right? It's very easy to fall into that trap. But you just have to have enough desire. You have to have a strong reason why and constantly remind yourself of it on a daily basis or whenever times are difficult, because that is what's going to allow you to push through the barriers and burn the boats and transform into the new version of you that you're looking to become. Because at the end of the day, it just requires you to give a new level of intention that you probably haven't ever given or been used to giving before, right? Because now you have to know what calories are. You have to be intentional with how much you're eating, right? You want to prioritize those good foods. You can still include, the treats, the junk, the alcohol, right? Whatever you want to, even though I don't drink myself and I wouldn't recommend it, but you can still do it, right? You just have to track. You have to play around with, meal timings, carb timings, and all that kind of stuff to see what works best for you, to see what you enjoy doing the most, what gives you the most, sufficient energy so you can train properly. And it's just about managing all those things in a way where you can not only enjoy it, have high energy, and still perform and still be in a consistent deficit. Because it doesn't matter what you do one day, right? There's no cutting carbs, keto, or any of these strict or restricting diets that you can go on. Because if you can't see yourself doing it long term, and if you can't do it on repeat every single day, it's simply not the one for you. It's not going to work, right? It doesn't matter. You can have a perfect day or whatever you think that looks like. But if you can't show up again and again and again, it doesn't matter, right? You just need to have that level of intention and treat every day as if it resets back to zero. And once you're that intentional, you enjoy the process, you enjoy, hitting your steps, training hard, eating real food, and you just fall in love with the process and the man that you are becoming every single day, that you see looking back in the mirror, that you are transforming into. That's when you'll hit 10 to 12% body fat, right? You have to enjoy it. You have to be, this is why I always speak about, you have to, be somewhat psychopathic. You have to be obsessed in a healthy way. Because if you don't have that dog in you, as corny as it might sound, but if you don't have that willingness to just want to get better every single day and do the version of you yesterday proud, you're not going to get there, right? You're not going to improve or, get to that end result or that goal that you want, right? You just have to be intentional. You have to enjoy the process, and you have to be consistent. Right, consistently in the deficit, eating the quality food, hitting your macronutrients and your micros so you can feel your best, have high energy, and develop your physique exactly how you wish. But that is genuinely the main thing on how you are going to get from 20% to 15% to then 10 to 12% body fat. Because it is much more than just continuing to train hard, continuing to stay in a deficit, and continuing to do your cardio. There is much more to it than that. And until you can internally change the way you view, fitness and health in general and your approach to it up here, nothing else in real life is going to change, right? There's no shortcut, there's no hack. You have to enjoy the process and just stick with it, right? That being said, that is the end of the video. My knees are absolutely killing me. Sorry for this awkward angle. But that being said, do check out the description below if you have any questions about anything. DM me on Instagram. I'll reach out to all of you guys and I'll see how I can help you guys out. If you want one-on-one coaching, same as I just said before, check out the description. There'll be a link where you can book a call with me. Or if you want more information, yet again, just ask me out. in the DMs about the coaching. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed and you took a lot of information away from this. Don't make the same mistake I did, where I was just spinning my wheels, right, going around in circles, thinking that, oh, I need to continue cutting my calories, I need to grind, I need to work harder. No, you should still be enjoying what you do. Fitness shouldn't still be your life. You just need to integrate it in a way that's enjoyable, that you can still have high energy, and you can actually sustain it long term. It shouldn't take away, it should still add to it. You just have to be that little bit more intentional. I'll see you guys in the next one.